What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. UFC 307 has now come and gone, and Alex Pereira, of course, reigned victorious against Khalil Rountree in an excellent fight. But now that that fight has happened, we got to look ahead and figure out what the next matchup is for the champion Alex Pereira. Of course, there's a couple obvious options, but today I'm going to talk about the option I think should happen, and I think the option that a lot of fans will get excited about. So obviously, the obvious answer here is Magomed Ankalaev, but realistically, nobody wants to see this guy fight for a title. Maybe his parents and a couple of his friends, but besides that, I think the greater community just does not care about this guy whatsoever. And it's not that I think Ankalaev would absolutely smash Pereira, because I actually think Pereira would win that fight, but a lot of people seem to think that he would, and the UFC especially thinks that he would. They've kind of been pushing it off. So honestly, I'm not even sure if Ankalaev is the next guy in line, because there could be a couple of other options for Pereira that are going to be better for the fans and for the UFC, which is the matchup I have in front of us here today. And that, of course, is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. I believe this is the biggest fight you could possibly make right now in the UFC. And the only reason I'm even talking about this fight, to be honest with you, is because Pereira kind of teased it. I mean, he posted on IG a photo of him getting his Vaseline on his face before a fight, and then Aspinall staring him down in the background. It's kind of a cool picture. We've seen it before, definitely, but it just showed that Pereira could be open to potentially going up to heavyweight and fighting Tom. I mean, we've never really heard Alex talk about Aspinall before. It's not a guy he mentions a lot, so a lot of people weren't thinking that this fight would even be possible. But now that Pereira's kind of leaked it and teased it a bit, I think a lot of people really want to see this matchup, myself included. I mean, this is as much of a super fight as it gets. It's two big names, two people that a lot of people love, and it's Alex Pereira, a guy who is essentially the face of the UFC at this point, and him going up to heavyweight, getting a third title in such a short amount of time would be one of the greatest accomplishments ever in the history of the sport. And I know technically it's an interim belt, but honestly, I don't count John Jones, because this guy's retiring. Jones is going to retire after the Stipe fight at MSG, so I think the heavyweight title will be vacant. And I think if you make these two fight for the belt, maybe, I don't even know, I wanted to say December, but that's probably unlikely for Pereira. Maybe you have it happen at the beginning of next year somewhere. I don't care, but you could have Tom fight Alex for the undisputed heavyweight title, and that would just be a massive fight. Obviously, I would love to see Jones and Tom, but it's just something that I think will not happen at this point. I mean, John does not want that fight whatsoever. He's made that very clear, and he's also already said that he's probably going to retire after the Stipe fight. So I'm not even going to think about that fight anymore, because it honestly just pisses me off. That fight should have happened, should be happening, and it's not, because the champion and the supposed GOAT of the sport is scared. So this is pretty much the next best thing. I mean, there really isn't anybody at heavyweight right now I want to see Aspinall fight besides Jones. I mean, there really isn't a clear-cut contender. There isn't really a guy that I think could actually give Tom a run for his money, to be honest. So this Pereira fight makes sense. I think that it's two guys who both have a puncher's chance at winning this fight, let's be honest. I mean, personally, I think I would favor Tom because of the weight difference and because of the wrestling as well. I think he could take Pereira down pretty easily, especially if he's the bigger guy. But this is Alex Pereira we're talking about. I mean, one punch changes everything, and Tom has been susceptible in the past to big shots, and he has a chin, but his chin's been rocked before, and if guys there are rocking him, I don't see why Pereira couldn't either, especially if he put on the necessary weight. So I think this fight has a chance for both guys to come out victorious, so it just makes the most sense for it to happen. I mean, I don't think any other fight makes sense for either guy, to be honest. Yes, you could give Pereira Ankalaev, but nobody cares about that fight. And Ankalaev's not even guaranteed to beat Rakic. A lot of people are sleeping on Alexander Rakic as well. I could see Rakic winning that fight. So Ankalaev's definitely not a sure contender. And for Aspinall, there's nobody else. I mean, Jones would have been the fight, but he's running away. So that can't happen. Book Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. It'll be the biggest fight for the UFC that they could make right now, honestly. It would genuinely be the biggest fight. Everybody loves these guys. Let's make it happen, Dana. Let me know what you guys think, though. Who do you want to see? Do you want to see Pereira versus Ankalaev, or would you prefer to see Aspinall Jones, or do you want to see these two fight? Let me know down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you all for watching this video. UFC 308 is right around the corner. That card is going to be incredible, so be on the lookout for multiple videos on the channel coming out with breakdowns for that card, especially Max and Ilya. Trust me, that's probably fight of the year. Thank you all for watching this video. Share your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.